Hello, and I'm with Tasha. Excellent testimony with us on the panel from a married couple perspective. Thank you for being with us today, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
During the panel, you addressed a number of positive points in terms to how you collectively together were able to achieve financial wellness. Can you please tell us how the journey was in the beginning and what was the first thing that actually made you guys come together and discuss finances?
I think the first thing for us was when we decided we wanted to get married, we took marriage counseling courses with First Baptist Church. And in it, they discussed the principles of being sound financially as a couple. And so from there, we looked at where we were individually and then collectively what we wanted to do, how we wanted our family to look like in a couple of years. And so building from those experiences to where we are now.
And Tasha, in particular, you mentioned a lot of the sacrifices that had to be made in the process of trying to navigate around a budget to achieve your collective financial growth. Could you actually walk us through a couple of those challenges that you encountered and how you overcome it together?
Okay, well, I think the first step for any woman is to identify what you really spend money on. And so for me, I was spending money just because I had the money, not because I needed those items. So, for example, I enjoyed shopping. I like to splurge quarterly. So sometimes I would spend thousands of dollars quarterly on things that I did not like by the end of the next quarter or the next season. So it really didn't make sense. I think the other component was I was huge into sneakers. But guess what? Sneakers, they come in style, they're out of style. And the great thing about Jordans and Nikes, honestly, they keep dropping the same shoe, just a different color. So it really doesn't make sense to continue to buy the same shoes. And so for me, along with Kwabena, I learned that, it's much more important to invest in something that's going to last, because sneakers are like cars, depreciating things that as soon as you wear them, you lose the value of them. So just like a car, I decided I needed to be smarter. I need to start saving and investing as opposed to spending money on things that didn't appreciate in value.
Once you achieved that change in mentality, both together as a couple, what would you say is one of the greatest milestones that you were able to achieve that really put the bigger picture into perspective, where you're like, we really were able to bang this out because of that change in perspective?
I think one of the things, initially when we set our financial budget together, we wanted to save X amount of dollars to be able to save if there was a point where one of us would be unemployed, that we would be able to save for at least 6 months to a year and not have to worry about financially. And we were able to accomplish that. And so looking at that from the beginning to where we are now, we're happy that we've done that. But we don't want to just stay there. We want to continue to grow so that if it's 2 years we're out, or we can do something else with our finances that would help us grow together, whether it's investing, whether it's helping another individual out. Those are things that we desire to do.
And then last but not least, in terms of advice to other couples that are either seeking to become married or are married and trying to take that next step towards that financial freedom, what are your words of advice to them to help them?
We would probably say to work hard and leave a legacy for your kids. I think oftentimes we get so caught up in the microwave society where you have to buy things to show your status. But in the long run, if you would invest in yourselves and invest in your future, then your legacy will live on well after you're gone.
And then I'll also say the marriage, the wedding ceremony is one day, but the marriage is for the lifetime. And so if you're investing in just the wedding ceremony, you're putting thousands of dollars in the wedding ceremony, but what do you have for your marriage? And so to develop a strategy that'll keep you financially stable for the duration of your marriage. And then also just talk freely about where you are financially. Say, hey, this is what I think about doing with our finances. What do you think about this? Just have that constant dialogue so it doesn't become foreign and uncharted territories.
Thank you guys so much for taking your time out to share your experience and your testimony with the positive community. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much for having us.